Hey everyone, welcome to Select E10. 2025 is packed with amazing sci-fi movies, and we're counting down the top ones. And yes, 99% of viewers aren't subscribed, so please support the channel. Let's get started. Number 10, The Gorge. It is the Gorge science fiction horror film of 2025 that centers on two lone shooters who are assigned to protect an enigmatic valley without ever coming into contact. The film opens as a somber atmospheric thriller centered on isolation, prohibited closeness, and the unsettling wonder of what lies within the valley. As the secret menace develops, the plot evolves into science fiction horror, giving excellent action and strong cinematography, but sacrificing some of the quiet, slow burn appeal of the first half. While the genre switch sometimes feels inconsistent, the lead's chemistry, breathtaking filming, and the primary riddle make The Gorge a fascinating and stylish film for fans of the ambient thrillers with a futuristic twist. Number 9, Thunderbolts. It is Thunderbolts, a 2025 superhero action movie that focuses on a gang of broken anti-heroes who feel driven by strange Valentina to cooperate on a dangerous assignment that soon turns into an adventure, forcing them to face treachery, blame, and their own dubious moral principles. The film takes a deeper, more grounded tone, emphasizing dysfunctional team chemistry and unwilling camaraderie rather than classic heroes, with great performances from Yelena and Bucky holding the emotional gravity. The combination of witty humor, good action, and a more character-centered style makes Thunderbolts a dark entry that's most enjoyable when it examines salvation instead of spectacle. Number 8, The Running Man. It is a 2025 sci-fi adventure film set in a bleak future ruled by a brutal media-dominated state. The movie centers on Ben Richards, a low-income father who enrolls in a broadcast game in which participants must stay alive for a month while being pursued by trained killers to win a reward that could change their lives. Director Edgar Wright presents the film as a violent, dangerous street thriller, imbuing it with a raw, frantic intensity. While the speed and aesthetic are sleek, the film periodically stumbles with tone swings and undeveloped secondary characters. Overall, the movie merges savage adventure and grandeur with a commentary on inequity, media industry dominance, and systemic oppression. Number 7, Superman. Directed by James Gunn, the story brings back Superman as he struggles to balance his alien Kryptonian background with his ordinary childhood, managing life as a polite journalist and a superhuman vigilante, while confronting dangers planned by his rival Lex Luthor. The film does homage to the protagonist's hopeful spirit while setting contemporary challenges in an atmosphere that questions justice and the truth. It strikes a balance between massive superhero action and deep emotional roots, examining hope, identity, and the cost of power. While the movie sometimes feels overburdened with additional stories and struggles to give each character enough breathing room, its outstanding visuals, appealing ensemble, and heartfelt moments make it an entertaining reboot. Number 6, Companion. It is a 2025 science fiction thriller that Drew Hancock directed. The film follows Iris and her boyfriend Josh as they travel to a remote lake property with friends. What begins as a wickedly sarcastic portrayal of valued partnerships swiftly devolves into horror when Iris's world collapses following a defensive event, leading her into a horrific quest for escape. The film uses Iris's revelation to analyze how technologies could worsen serious social problems while fusing visceral horror with scathing social commentary on gender and acceptance. While the film's mood moves across dark comedy, psychological thriller, and violent horror, Companion works as a frightening sci-fi thriller that offers horrors and social satire. Number 5, The Fantastic Four's First Steps. In The Fantastic Four's First Steps, the classic heroic group Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm emerges fully powerful 4 years after their radiation-filled space voyage and must protect Earth from the destructive space being Galactus and his messenger, Silver Surfer. Directed by Matt Shakman, the narrative combines relatable human drama with a major cosmic threat, while the film's vivid retro-futuristic 1960s era style helps it stand out visually, lending the setting a distinct, unique charm. While certain secondary characters, particularly Johnny and Ben, receive less development than the main ones, the central emotional narrative about family, duty, and uncertainty about the future is effective. Overall, it is a daring new reboot that does more than simply reintroduce a popular team. In fact, it redefines them, offering spectacle, compassion, and an optimistic vibe that feels crucial for the franchise's next installment. Number 4, Tron Ares. The movie centers on Ares, a program that is transported from the virtual world into the real one for the very first time. This leads to a major conflict between two tech-powered organizations, where Ares must decide whether to obey commands or learn the true meaning of being alive. The film's glowing visuals, thrilling chases, and thumping soundtrack provided an unusual visual signature. In theory, Ares' quest to balance programming and mankind is reminiscent of classic science fiction themes. Yet in implementation, the narrative frequently feels unstable, The characters are underdeveloped, and the personal aspects are not as strong as the surrounding spectacle. Therefore, rather than being a profoundly moving drama, Tron Ares functions best as a classy, visually stunning sci-fi rollercoaster. Number 3. Mickey 17. Mickey 17, directed by Bong Joon-ho and featuring Robert Pattinson as the protagonist, Mickey Barnes. The film takes place in the future, where humanity dispatches useless beings to settle a freezing planet. In the meantime, Mickey enlists in assignments that no one else would take on, but catastrophe strikes when he overcomes an assignment where he was meant to die, setting off a chain of events in a society dominated by corporate power and colonialism. The movie blends psychological fear, surrealist humor, stinging satire, and dark science fiction. Pattinson's performance gives the narrative emotional weight, even though its enormous plot and strong social critique are unpredictable. Though it doesn't always work out, Mickey 17 is a thought-provoking and at times chaotic movie that tries to pose difficult questions about mankind and ethics. Number 2. Frankenstein. It is a 2025 sci-fi horror film directed by Guillermo del Toro. The plot revolves around genius scientist Victor Frankenstein, who opposes nature and reincarnates the creature, which awakens not just as a frightened being, but also as a suffering alive entity that develops language, feeling, and humanity. The movie alternates heartbreaking sympathy, remorse, and despair from many of the traditional horror cliches, focusing equally on the creature's suffering and isolation as it does on Frankenstein's obsession. Visually, it's opulent and gothic in style, with Del Toro's distinctive sinister fairy tale shades, lending the universe a terrifying, immersive feel. At times, the pace feels tedious, and the length requires patience. Yet, when it works in its silent instances, agonizing realizations, and grim thoughts, Frankenstein becomes a somber, wonderful study on solitude, desire, and the consequences of playing God. Number 1. Predator: Badlands. It is a 2025 sci-fi Predator: Badlands action film and the 7th part in the Predator franchise. In this chapter, the focus of the narrative is shifted from humans to Dek, an inexperienced alien fighter from the formidable Yautja tribe who has been banished because of his presumed weakness. To redeem himself, Dek arrives on the cruel world Jenna and must hunt down the world's apex creature. During his risky trip, he establishes a volatile relationship with Thea, a broken robot assigned to hunt down the same creature. The film reimagines the Predator concept by concentrating on survival, connection, and unusual companionship instead of people being hunted, merging extraterrestrial fear with meaningful emotional tension. While its more restrained tone and more heroic narrative style are not for fans who enjoyed the relentless horror of the originals, Badlands is a daring, creative interpretation thanks to its outstanding world-buying and rewarding action. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. Do subscribe to our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.